17 of Rational Romantics, where we are going to be deep diving and finishing Benedict and Sophie's book, An Offer from a Gentleman. For the people watching on YouTube, I am accidentally dressed as Sophie for the occasion, so I have my hair up and my pink on. So that's going to be super great. Deb is accidentally cosplaying Araminta, and I love it.
Of course.
The face card never declines.
Never.
And then we're, of course, going to update everybody on things that are happening in the Bridgerverse, talk a little pop culture, and just have a fabulous episode that celebrates the end of this amazing book. So, here we go.
Here we go. I'm so sad that it's almost done. I feel the impulse to go re-listen to our other episodes and like follow along as a listener and reread the book from the beginning. Is that weird? I don't know, but I'll do it.
It's 0% weird because I feel exactly the same. So
there you go. Well, yeah, I'm super excited to dive into it. And it's funny, you say YouTube, for people watching on YouTube, everybody's gonna see this look. We're gonna highlight the fact that you dressed as such. So everybody's gonna get a piece of this super cute little outfit.
Here's the still for us.
Screenshots.
I love it. Okay.
I love it so much. But yeah, we do have a few little things to address before we jump into the book.
Yeah. So it feels like a perennial topic that comes up on just about every episode at this point. Yeah. Is season 4 actually wrapped? Because we got a little bit more information that maybe puts a bit of a wrinkle in that, but it's definitely interesting.
It is, yes. Hannah Dodd is performing. She's on her show in London, and there's some fans who can meet and greet after the show, and she ended up mentioning that she's still filming Bridgerton season 4, which, okay, that's fine. I'm pretty sure there was a wrap party, but okay, we could still film. That's okay. So she kind of revealed that. Obviously, no details as to like what exactly she's filming, but Bridgerton season 4 is still kicking around on the production floor and on set. So I don't know what this means, but I mean, I don't know. Let's speculate because that's what we do.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that this is just some pickups. And so pickups are just when they've missed something. Either they realize they didn't get a shot that they thought they got, maybe audio was garbled and they need something different. Maybe they look at that and they're like, hey, that doesn't super go correctly. They notice a continuity issue, something that they go back in and they're like, hey, this is a big enough deal that we need to go back and film it. Like, for example, Wicked, which we're, fingers crossed, hopefully going to be able to talk about, Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo just went back to London to film pickups for the new movie that's coming out in November. So pickups are not a sign that anything is wrong. They're just a reality of filming things. And so hopefully, given that they're doing these right at the end, that'll be a nice smooth process for them to continue editing and to get it out, again, fingers crossed, early 2026. So that would be my guess. But you had an interesting thought as to what that might mean for the future of this series.
I did. And I know you like it. I saw your comment. I know you're down for it. Yep. You know me. I'm always the romantics of the rational romantics. I'm skipping ahead. I'm assuming best case scenario, the most fun, like, fantasy version of all of this. So I was like, what if she's just not done filming because she has some epilogue stuff because she's season 5 and we need to see more Michaela and Francesca at the end of season 4. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm right. I'm probably not. But I think what I'm really getting at is that Francesca has a big enough role in season 4 to have to come back and shoot these pickups and stuff like that. So they're probably trying to perfect the storyline with her. And I think that's also very telling that she could be season 5, because if they're making a whole thing to reshoot or like alter or whatever, that feels like a really big deal. So Francesca, Hannah Dodd being part of that, I don't know. I think it hints a little bit to next season.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Well, and especially since it doesn't seem like it is whole family big group scenes. It feels like it almost has to be small group or individual, because like Nicola is elsewhere in the world. Claudia Jesse, I think I saw, is in Thailand. Like, they're going places and doing things, and I don't know. Like, so it is not like the cast is there still. They have gone off and done their things. So I think that's a really good read, that could be an indication that she's got some serious meat in that epilogue or that ending.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well then maybe I am right. I never want never want to assume, but you know, it feels like, I don't know, it just feels like my spidey senses are tingling. I'm like, this is important. This is like an indicator that she's in it a lot more than she might have been in season 3. So, very exciting. But then there's also some other Francesca news from the author herself, Julia Quinn.
Yeah, so we got 2 Us Weekly articles with Julia Quinn, basically back to back. And this one, it heavily features Michaela and Francesca. It's Julia Quinn talking about that storyline, her reminding everybody to, very politely, her saying, calm the fuck down, about Michaela and about that change and that everything. And she's reminding everybody that, like, if you love the original version, like we do, you always have the original version. So, like, go read When He Was Wicked. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. And then also you're getting this incredible version. Yeah. And she reminded us some very important details, which I think is good to remember. Like, and they have consistently said this, like Jess Brunell has said this, everybody said this. Francesca loves John. Like, she loves John. Like, we need to remember that, because that's a huge part of her story. And then also that it's going to be an amazing show and series, and the story is going to be beautiful, and yeah, it's going to be just like the book in that way. Like, it's going to make us cry and be beautiful. So,
yeah, I totally agree. And good on Julia Quinn for reminding everybody of that. Like, I know that there was a lot of talk on, like, you know, like Francesca's reaction after she kisses John at the wedding, and how she might be like not as into him as you would want her to be, but she's just a different personality, a different character. Their relationship has been different than any other relationship on the show so far, and that's what makes it special. Them sitting together in silence, like, there's beauty in those differences. So, yeah, it's not fair to kind of remove any affection that the characters may have. So, yeah, it's going to be well done. I'm not worried in the slightest. I'm so excited about it, and yeah, I think it's pretty telling that we're still kind of talking about Francesca and Michaela heavily, because I love Sir Philip. I love him. I love Philoise. But nobody is really talking about it right now, so I don't know. It's looking pretty good for Francella season 5.
yeah. No, I totally think so. And it feels like, this feels like the opening salvo to the press tour about Francesca and Michaela, because like, and they're being very clear that they are endgame. Like, they don't talk about Eloise and Philip like this, which I absolutely do still think that Philip and Eloise are endgame. But it's interesting that those same conversations aren't happening. Like, it's not like, this is what's happening, this is where we're going. Like, they're being very, very clear. And I think it's partially to, you know, alleviate any of those questions, and, you know, because this is a big step in representation. And so we need to take away all of the amount of times that I get a comment that's like, maybe they'll recast, or like, maybe Michael is Michaela's twin. And I'm like, shut the actual fuck up. Like, I'm not even nice about it. I'm done being nice. Like, you've had a year to get used to it. I'm done. If you're still bitching about it, you need to examine yourself. Hi, I'll say that to all my listeners. I say with absolute love. If you still have some issues with this, you need to examine why. Like, as a queer woman, with love, that is something you need to examine. Because shock is a real thing, and trying to get used to it is a real thing. We've had a year. Be supportive now. Time to understand that this is the direction we're going, and we're going to be supportive. So that's my soapbox for the day.
I love that, and I fully stand behind, us, beside, in front, like all the things with what you just said, because yeah, you just said it beautifully. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Thank you.
People just need to, if you're going to comment that, just don't. Go comment that somewhere else. Or just don't. We're not here for it, so we fully support Michaela and Francesca's endgame, so I am so ready for it.
Yeah, can't wait. It's going to be amazing. So on a completely different note, another show that we love and love to talk about, on June 1st, it was World Outlander Day. So that's super exciting. That's the anniversary of when the first book was published. And we got a super cool gathering where they brought together the cast from the original show and Blood of My Blood, the prequel. They brought them all together. They did a bunch of stuff. We got to see them all interact, and they just look so good. And I can't believe how good the casting is. And I can't believe that we have this new show and season 8 yet to come. And it's one of the best World Outlander days I've ever seen. Like, so excited.
So exciting. And I just love seeing those worlds collide, even though it's the same world. Like, I think it's so important for, Outlander fans to kind of see, I don't want to say the old and the new, but to see those two kind of groups merging and to see it as like a continuation, or, the story, it's all encompassing. So it was really cool to see them all together. And I love a good passing of the baton. Like, I love to see that. Seeing Sam Heughan and Jamie Roy, at the Stones, like doing the passing of the baton, and him being like, this is so cool being at Craig Nadoon. And then Sam is like, is there even rocks in Blood of My Blood? Like, is there even stones in Blood of My Blood? It's just, yeah, the banter is sweet. And I just love seeing those kind of transitions between the actors who have lived it so deeply.
Yeah. Well, and I can't believe how, like, it feels so perfect. Everything feels so serendipitous. Like, I was reading, I think it was in Entertainment Weekly, maybe. I can't remember where the article was. But about the Blood of My Blood cast and how they got cast and everything. And so, like, Jamie Roy, which is so crazy, Jamie Roy is a name that Jamie goes by in the books. So the name of the actor is a pseudonym that Jamie uses in the books. Yeah, it's crazy. And then, so Jamie came in to audition for a character, I think it was in season 7 of Outlander, and it was like a one-off, like not a character who was going to last for very long, and they were like, oh my god, this guy looks like Sam Heughan, like, we're trying to maybe get a prequel off the ground, do we not cast him for this to try and save him for something that might not happen, like, what do we do? And so thankfully they did, and saved him, and kept him. Yeah, and so then he got cast. I think he was the first one cast in Blood of My Blood.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is so cool. It's like destiny. He was meant to be in this role. Oh, and yeah, you can just tell he's going to be incredible. I cannot wait to see. It is time to jump into An Offer from a Gentleman for the last time. Chapter 21 onward to the end of the book. And I don't know, Cass, are you ready for this? Because, I'm like, I get butterflies in my tummy thinking about it. These last few chapters are really good.
They are. This is, without question, my favorite part of the book. Loved this. So good.
Yeah, it is so good. And maybe we can go through just a quick synopsis of what we ended on in chapter 20. I mean, it doesn't take long. Sophie's been arrested. She's been arrested. That's the headline. Arrested, accused of theft, and all at the same time, or just before, I should say, Benedict put two and two together that Sophie is also the Lady in Silver because she was blindfolded for a child's play game and she was exposed. And then she gets arrested, so naturally, those are canon events, so I guess that's what happens.
And they had a nice little knockdown, drag-out fight in between. So...
Because Why not? Chapter 20 was good.
Yeah, it was. Which this feels like where they're gonna end episode 7, because like episode 7 is like low point, terrible. Like Kate falls off the horse. Like all the like episode 7 is always a rough one. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's it.
like,
That's what
yeah.
it is. Darkness. Yeah, I can totally
Yes.
see that. But yeah, now we are at chapter 21, and there's a hefty Lady Whistledown at the very beginning,
Uh-huh.
basically outlining everything that happened on the front steps of the Penwood house. And a lot of a lot of curiosity from Lady Whistledown. She's like, I'm not really sure what happened and like what's actually gonna happen to this young lady, but it's just interesting because you know that Lady Whistledown is Pen, and Pen was just she saw Sophie recently, so like she knows who she's talking about. Let's be real. So it's like an interesting go around here. So
Yeah, well, and the Whistledown foreshadowing of it being Pen is so aggressive in these last few chapters, because obviously it's setting up her story next, but so intense. Yeah.
so intense. Oh my god, yeah, I can't wait to get to the end because like what? I didn't really like what?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
If anybody was thinking of like tuning in later, they're probably like, "Whoa, I need to listen till the end now."
I love it. Yes, carry with us.
Yeah, don't give up. Don't give up. We're getting there. But
Don't
yeah,
change that channel.
don't you? Oh, your age is showing. Our age is showing because I'm older than you. Oh gosh.
One of my students brought in a Game Boy today, and I was like, "What is that?" And he was like, "It's a Game Boy." And he's like, "How old are you?" He's like, "I even know what this is, whatever." And I said, "No." I was like, "It's not an age thing. I'm a nerd. I'm not a video game person. I'm like,
Yeah. Not your thing. That's okay.
yeah."
That's fine.
Okay, but we do get a lot of banter and a lot of fun starting this chapter off with Colin and Benedict, who are fencing. So I would love to see a return of the fencing that we got in season 2. That would be great. Thanks.
Oh my gosh. That would be so, so great. This is on like one of like the top 5 things on my list now, suddenly, that I need in season 4. How amazing would it be to have a replay of, okay, so like we know, okay, just to clarify, in season 2 of Bridgerton, we have the fencing scene with the 3 brothers, ABC. And Anthony is just, he's stressed, he's like focused, and he's just rattled about the sister, about Kate. Oh god, no, 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 no. And they're joking like, hopefully like, you know, nobody's gonna get injured, we're just playing, you know, whatever. So it's this really great scene. And now I would just love to see this in season 4 with Benedict being flustered, being like, oh my god, I don't, you know, he just wants to burn off, like, or cool down or whatever. Pick an expression, I don't know. But I would just love to see this play out, and Colin being like, happy-go-lucky, my troubles are in season 3, baby. And just like, I just want to do some fencing. And Benedict just having a moment.
Yeah, he's gonna have to get put through the ringer in this season, and that kind of sucks, because I feel like every other guy were a little bit like, okay, time for the ringer. Like, Colin, you need to grow up. Anthony, you need to get your head out of your butt. Like, all right, like, you know, we do these things, and we're like, you know, you gotta suffer a little bit. Like, we don't want to see you have, like, pain inflicted, but you're gonna have to grow a little bit. Benedict, we're like, our sweet baby angel, you don't need to suffer anything. It makes us sad. So...
It really does. I think, like, these last few chapters, I'm just like, my heart breaks for Benedict, my heart breaks for Sophie. I just want them to figure it out. But Benedict, yeah, he's just overloaded with like this last conversation. Like, he was going into it thinking, screw it, we're gonna get married. I don't mind the class divide, like whatever, we'll escape to the country, let's get married. And then all at the same time, he just realizes she's a lady in silver, and he had been like trying not to propose to Sophie because what about the lady in silver? Like, what a mind fuck. This poor guy, yeah. I guess he needed to do some fencing with his bro because it was too much for him.
Oh, yeah. Well, and Colin is the best sibling to go to, always.
Mm-hmm.
He is the wingman of his siblings. Like, this book especially, Francesca's book especially, and Gregory's book. Like, all three of those, and, like, there are clear scenes in my mind where Colin is the best wingman. Like, he says this, it's on my 368, and he's like, why don't you just do us all a favor and marry the girl? And Benedict is like, he knows. And I was like, yeah, he knows.
And I just want that so bad. I really hope that makes it because it's so sweet for him to just be like, he's like the romantic of all of them. Well, okay, arguably. Benedict is kind of romantic too. I mean, they all are, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's just like a softie now that he's like calling my wife Bridgerton. Like, he's gonna feel like he was in the same situation with Penelope, like having the conversation with Kate and Anthony about like I just found out like this secret, and you know Benedict's going through the same thing. It's a mirrored situation where he's like, I just figured out that she's this and whatever, and Colin just knowing about his feelings is just removing a layer of stress for Benedict, and now he can just like pour himself open. That's not the expression. Pour himself out. Sure.
That seems...
Whatever. He's just gonna let it out.
Yeah.
That's fine. So yeah, that allows him to just tell him everything, rip the Band-Aid.
Well, and it really works so well because that's kind of the thing where the previous couple or the previous, like, lead is able to dispense the wisdom that they learned from their season, that's exactly what Antony and Kate both do, is that, whether they're talking to Colin or Eloise, they're like, if you had to sum up their lesson from their season in, like, one sentence, they give that then to the next person. Like, Kate is like, hey, my big lesson, Eloise, was be honest with your siblings. And so Eloise goes and talks to Colin, and Antony is like, just tell her you love her. Like, those are the big headlines of what they needed to learn. And then they give that. And so Colin gets to headline and be like, does it matter? Does it matter in the long run? Like,
I love this so much. This pulls at my heartstrings, clearly. I can't. Because it's so true. Even Daphne for Anthony, too. She was like, well, if she's the one who, like, makes your heart skip a beat, whatever metaphor she used. And he's like, what do you mean? Oh, it's just, I need it. I need it so bad. Ugh. I'm fine.
Best. I also am so proud of Benedict in this scene. My actual note was, Ben, you're learning. Look at you. Empathy is a rough lesson.
He did learn, though, but he got... I remember at the beginning of, like, us reading this, we were like...
Yeah.
No, Benedict, no, that's not you. And we were kind of mad at him. We were like, I really hope he apologizes at the end. I really hope he feels sorry at the end. And, like, yeah, he really does. But also acknowledges that Sophie has some apologies to do too. But it's sweet how on 369 he's like, I owe her a few apologies. He's like, I'm sure she'll forgive you. Like, she owes me several as well. More than several. Like, he's still him. But he can still admit that, like, he shouldn't have expected her to share him with somebody else, because he would die if he had to share her with somebody else, so he got there. He did.
Well, and him really, like, the biggest thing for me was him acknowledging that even if it was okay for him to ask her to be his mistress, which I think it was, like, I stand behind that. I think that that's a valid thing for him to ask. He should have respected the no, and he should have backed off and calmed down and been like, yeah, she has full agency. And so I really, really appreciate that he respects her agency by the end of this in a very real way. So that's a good lesson. I'm glad he learned it.
Me too. I thought of you when I was reading that part. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, he got there. Thank goodness. But yeah, no, it's a really, really sweet part of the chapter. So I'm really glad that they got that. I really hope that they do keep that in so that we have this moment of like enlightenment and like confidence for Benedict before he goes into the next part of this chapter, which is, the on 370. What do you mean she's gone? The classic scene cut. What do you mean she's gone? Oh, here we go.
The drama.
Mm-hmm.
I also literally wrote down, thank goodness these girls are so gossipy. Like,
I know.
they are on it.
I know. So good. Because, yeah, thank goodness they're obsessed with Whistledown and they're like storming in, being like, have you heard the news? But like, yeah, thank goodness. Because when Francesca and Hyacinth run in and say like, Sophie's been taken to jail, it's like, okay, well that was easy. Okay, now just go to jail now. Because it could have been a lot more complicated. Time could have went by. But they figured it out. And there's a lot of back and forth like, I'm going to go. No, you're not going to go. I'm going to go. And Violet, yes, she's like, I'm fucking going. Get the carriage. Let's go. Rally the troops. Like, insert whatever, like, girl power song. I'm going to love it.
I'm almost wondering if we're gonna see a bigger coalition of people go. Like, I could see, like, Francesca's married. She can go if she wants. She also might be out of commission because she might have just lost her husband in the show. But, so we'll see. But, like, we could see Penn going. We could see Kate. Like, we could see, like, a female coalition plus Benedict be like, we're gonna go, like, Lady Danbury and the Queen, let's throw them all in there. They can be like, to Sophie.
Onward. Yeah, I still would really love to see Penelope there. I really want Penelope to be part of like the figuring out who she is before anybody. And like, we said we wanted her to like kind of work with the Queen. Like, I just throw her in there for the gossip. Throw her in there. But I don't know why. I don't know why my brain works like this. I think it's anxiety. But like, what if when Francesca goes to the jail, that's when John passes? And we come back to that. And that's like happy, but then sad.
I feel like they won't. Like, I almost feel like John is going to have to pass in, like, at the end of episode 6. Because I think that they won't detract from the end game of Benedict and Sophie by having another event for a major character. I think.
True.
Because I'm trying to think if anything, like...
I just feel like it'd be such a good cliffhanger.
Yeah, it'd be rough.
For, like, a casual viewer to be like, oh my gosh, finally, like, this all worked out, da-da-da-da-da. What do you mean John's dead? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels Shondaland. It feels Shondaland.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah. Episode 6 makes soon too. Makes soon too. What am I saying? What am I saying? Episode 6 makes sense too.
Yep. Great job, Deb. First try.
Thank you. Clearly. She's a pro.
We got this. Okay, ready for chapter 22?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
22.
We can sing the non-Taylor's version. We can sing the... What are we calling them? The recovered versions? Is that what I saw them? Is it recovered? Recovered isn't right.
Reborn?
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Reborn.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so Lady Whistledown just gives us a description of Benedict and Violet rushing out of the house and Benedict practically throwing her into a carriage, which that would be a fun scene.
Yeah.
Oh
typical Bridgertons.
Yeah.
They're at it again.
And then we have the jail, and it is not pretty.
It's not pretty. It's cold, really cold, and I hate the beginning where she's like, there was an awful scurrying noise that definitely belonged to a small four-legged creature, or even worse, a large four-legged creature. Ah,
So,
rats.
personally, my greatest phobia in life is rodents. I hate them, like to the point where it occasionally like makes it difficult for me to exist. Like if there's a possibility of them, like I struggle. Like I moved out of a house, guys, because it had mice. Like I couldn't do it anymore. I was renting. It was my first apartment in my like when I worked elsewhere, away from where I live now. In my first teaching job, we would get fires and it would send all the mice in. And so I woke up to a mouse on my counter, and I went out and bought a bunch of electric traps. And as I was walking by, I heard it catch one. And I was like, peace out, I'm done. Can't do this. And I stayed at a hotel for 6 days until I found a new place.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. I
I
can't.
mean, that's I hear you.
Yeah.
I would be tempted to do the same because like that's disgusting.
Yeah.
The trauma, immediate trauma of just like thinking you're safe, but then also hearing it, and how even if you didn't hear it and you would have to find it, mouse traps trip me out because I'm like, then you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Ugh,
So I only
gross.
get the ones that are completely covered in the whatever. And then now I live back
No.
in my hometown, and I ask my dad to do it, and my dad does it. And I'm like, that's
Okay,
it. Yeah.
that's bad. Well, yeah, okay. I feel you. So you would not do well in the jail with Sophie.
I would be like my eyes are watering thinking about it. I would be catatonic. I would not be like my mind would not be okay. Like my brain would probably have to like disassociate if I literally could not get out of somewhere that had rodents in it. Like it's a bad enough fear that my brain would probably shut down. Like I probably wouldn't be awake because because if I was trapped there, I would be my brain would shut me down.
Yeah, that would be it. You would
It
just be
would be
done
bad.
with life.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
funny. Oh my
It's insane.
gosh. Well, I learned something new about you today.
Yeah, fun facts about Cass.
Yay. So fun.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So
okay.
worse though,
Um,
worse than even
hmm.
that is who shows up next, because it's Araminta.
Araminta. What a bitch. Just what a bitch. She just came to gloat. Sophie Beckett. Oh my god. I hate her. And honestly, I truly do not know how how Katie Leong is going to do that. How she's doing this. How did she do it? Like, how is she going to make her so evil? Because she truly is probably the most evil character so far in Bridgerton on TV.
Yeah. Oh, she's certainly up there. Um, well, and I think it's interesting too because I had some moments, when she goes through this, that she has some valid complaints. Like Sophie's dad sucks. Like I will admit that.
Yeah.
But like the idea, which is such an interesting thing, and it's like so true of so much of human nature, that like shit rolls downhill. Like she gets all of this pressure, and she gets all of these, not good things, and like it is, I will agree, like it might in some ways be a little difficult to have a child born of your husband in the house when your entire worth is based on can you give him an heir, and you can't do that. That would be difficult. However, she decides to inflict pain on Sophie because she can't inflict any pain on her husband. And that is extremely, extremely abusive and fucked up. So while I sympathize with what she went through, she obviously did with it just the worst thing possible. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I get that point of view for sure. But when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, it's not like if he cheated on you or had Sophie while he was with
yeah.
you too. Like this level of anger is a little high considering how much worse it could have been. But
No
yes,
doubt.
I can empathize with the situation that she walked into, and also maybe she probably didn't even know. she didn't know, walking through the door and seeing this little child, being like, whose child is this? And, you know, she was blindsided too. So maybe they'll play on that a little bit more in the show so that we can have a little bit more of like a open empathy for her. But yeah, the way she's reacting to things, and even more so in the later part of this chapter and next, with her own flesh and blood, she makes me so mad.
Oh yeah.
But
she loses any redemptive qualities very quickly.
So quickly. And, you know, she jumps right in, right? And she says, you stole my shoe clips. Well, you know what, Araminta? They are worthless. So what else do you got? It's almost like she knows, because she's like, oh, I don't have my ring anymore. Really? Now you're gonna just lie? Sure, yeah, she did steal the shoe clip, but now you're just lying? She's already in jail. Like, come on. She's awful.
Yeah. No, she's... That's so funny, because that's literally my next note is, God, she's awful.
There you go. That's it. She's just awful. But then she gets, like, emotionally real with Sophie, which also I kind of appreciated, because she kind of lays it out like she hated Sophie because he loved her. Like, he cared for her. Like, her father cared for her, and that's what made her hate her.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like it's interesting because Araminta really is, even if she's more over the top than most versions of, like, people like this, like, I feel like we know people like this. Like, everybody knows people who believe that love is finite and transactional, right? Like, that if somebody loves someone else, that means that they love you less. Like, my grandma, absolutely, God rest her, she was so good in so many ways, she believed this. And, like, she would hate my mom's friends because my mom loved them, and so therefore my mom loved her less. And, like, it was a big issue because that was something that she believed from childhood and from, like, trauma. And so while, like, what Araminta does with that is obviously not okay in any way, shape, or form, I think it's a really compelling way to write, like, a realistic villain who does these terrible things for not understandable reasons, but, like, her psychology makes internal sense. Like, her internal logic tracks this. And so it's a really strong character decision to create, like, a bad guy through that.
That's super interesting. Yeah, you can tell that they clearly, in this part, they're mapping out the journey and the thought process of Araminta and why she got to this end point. And even though it's not the best endpoint, it's still, you can follow it. There's logic to the madness inside of her. So that's a really interesting point. But then I feel like she kind of goes a little off the rocker, because she's just like looking at her and she's like, you know, I wonder what it's like in Australia. It's like, bitch, what are you talking about? Like, she just went, like, she wants to banish her. Like, what is happening?
Well, and she does, like, a weird, like, oh, your fair skin won't survive it. And, like, she gets really cruel and, like, really, like, almost sadistic with it. Actually, not even almost, just literally sadistic. Where she's clearly enjoying the possibility and, like, future potential of Sophie's pain.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, it really is just so aggressively mean. But I like how on my 380 it says, but whatever Araminta had been about to say was cut off, thankfully, because Sophie feared she might be moved to attempt murder if she had to listen to another word, by a commotion erupting around the corner.
The way my heart soared when I was like, oh my God, he's here. Like, this is why we love fairy tales, and this is the part of fairy tales that I'm like, I need this like a drug. Like,
Yeah.
Because I love a girl that rescues herself, and I love a girl that rescues her man, and, like, I love that. But, like, there is so much value to a guy coming in and using his position and his power and his privilege and everything and his punches, also, we'll throw another P word in there, for good. That he comes
That's
in
the
and
title of the
rescues
episode.
his woman. I love that, yes! Oh my gosh. what was it, like privilege and power and punches?
Yes, yes. That's it. Privilege, power, and punches. Oh, so good.
So how did you feel when our boy showed up?
Um, elated, elated, and all giddy, and so like, thank goodness. Yeah, I'm just so happy that he shows up just in the nick of time, and as much as I was so happy to see Benedict or to hear that Benedict was there, I was kind of more happy to hear Violet in tow. Because Violet, oh, I think this is going to be one of the best moments of Violet so far in Bridgerton. Because, oh, she comes in with fire. I love it.
She does. Well, and I have to say though, with Benedict, I love that he just runs to Sophie and just lays one on her. Like,
Yes. Oh my god, I forgot to say that. I've been waiting all day to say that because, oh my god. Oh my god. And I love Sophie's internal thoughts of being like, what a beautiful moment for Araminta, who had no idea what her ties were with the Bridgertons, to have the most eligible bachelor in all of Mayfair running up to her and kissing her. Well, I think I fell in love with Benedict in that moment. Oh my god.
so do you think in the show that we're gonna have Araminta and like Rosamond, like Araminta pushing Rosamond toward Benedict the whole time, and then have Araminta and Rosamond both see this moment? Like, I want that sour look on Michelle. Like, I feel like Michelle Mao is gonna kill that look of being like,
Yeah.
what is this?
What? Oh my god, yes. She's gonna nail it. And I really hope, yes, fingers crossed that Rosamond has been added to this scene in the show because
Yeah.
she needs to be there. Yeah. She needs to be there with her mom being all like, yeah, we're better than you. And then being completely sidetracked with the fact that, what the fuck is he doing? Just planting one on Sophie. Like, the revenge is gonna be so good.
So, over this scene, we could have Better Than Revenge, like the non-Taylor's version.
Yes, absolutely. The OG. Oh my god, a cover of Better Than Revenge.
I love it. We could have an all Taylor soundtrack. I wouldn't be mad. I would miss the 80s music, but I wouldn't
Yes.
really even be mad.
No, that would be so good. It's such a neat, though, moment for me. I hope for it. It's so specific, but you never know. You never know. But
I'll stick it in my back pocket for when I do my, like, Taylor's version of my Bridgerton rewatch. When I put the songs, I'm gonna stick Better Than Revenge in my back pocket for this moment.
do it. Do it. So good. Uh, gosh. But yeah, then we just go into this chaotic back and forth between Araminta, Sophie, Benedict, Violet, the jailkeeper, whatever, all the people, the bailiff, whatever, all the people being like, who am I arresting? Who did what wrong? And what are, like, they're just a bunch of lawyers trying to talk their way out of things. And it is wild. It's whiplash all around. You're like, what are we doing here in a jail with this chaos?
Oh, it is a crazy scene. And can I just note a thing that I was like, I understand, like, this was just such a 2000s thing, I think is what it is. Benedict grabs Araminta by the fucking throat. I mean, I was kind of taken aback. I was like, I mean, I also want to see her get her comeuppance, but I was shocked. Like, shocked by that level of violence from him. Like,
Yeah.
I sputtered. I was like, what? Like,
I know.
yeah, I was shocked.
I know. Same. I was like, there's no way. There's no way that's ever going to be in the show. Like, you can't.
No.
You cannot. And yeah, it's a 2000s thing for sure. It's not something that aged well, let's say.
It's perfect. That's a perfect description. Oh my gosh. Oh, but before that, I'll walk backward. He drops a very lovely little F word in here with Sophie, and calling her his fiance.
Oh my god. At first I was like, shit, I didn't highlight that. Wait,
Different
what?
F word than the one I keep dropping. Sorry, I'm tired, guys, and I get cursy when I'm tired. And
No,
so
that's perfect.
it's been a
That's
lot of
perfect.
F-bombs.
It's like, again, it makes me want to squeal the way he just calls her his fiance. I'm like, oh my god, no, Benedict, what? It's just like, it's just the fairy tale of it all. Like, it's just best case scenario after best case scenario for Sophie. He shows up. Now they're engaged. What? But, like, she deserves that. She fully deserves that.
No, she really does. Well, and it's all best case scenarios after the single worst case scenario ever.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that she gets some best case scenarios because she had a rough go. I mean, she had to spend the night in a rat infested jail, and also she had to live with Araminta. So give her the happy
Exactly.
ending, please.
Please. Make her a fiance. Please. But then, yeah, then it turns into, you stole from me, like, and then Benedict is like, you stole from, like, it's all the, like, who's to blame. And I love how, like, the magistrate is, like, literally like, who am I arresting? Like, I don't understand what's happening. So, like, I just, yeah, I just love all of this chaos. And then suddenly our, like, I'm gonna say dame in shining armor. She's not a knight in shining armor. She's a dame in shining armor. Posey arrives, the unexpected heroine. And again, another love to see her coming moment. Like, fuck yes, Posey. Let's go.
She's so perfect. This section I need exactly from the book in there of Posey being like, I stole the shoe clips, arrest me, and like puts her hands up to be like, to be handcuffed. Like, it's so dramatic. I love it so much, and I need it to be exactly that. Like,
I do too. Oh my gosh. She's so funny. Like, she's so accidentally funny. Oh, for the love of God, mother, I took the shoe clips. Like, you could just see it, like, the breathlessness of, like, the arrest me. Yeah, like, absolutely. I need Posey to be exactly as she is here on the show.
agreed.
And when she's like, put me in the cell with Sophie. It's like, okay, girl, you don't want to go in there.
Yeah, and Sophie says that too. She's like, no, don't
No,
say
no.
that, don't suggest that.
Yeah, that's a no, girl. Oh my gosh. And then Araminta jumps. She's going to Australia. It's like, okay, last ditch effort, bitch. Like, come on.
Hey girl, lose with grace, but Araminta wouldn't know the meaning of the word.
No, absolutely not.
I also really, really love one of my favorite things from Violet on 390. I am a countess, Araminta hissed, and I am more popular, Lady Bridgerton returned. And I'm like, go Violet.
I love it. And I love how, like, I don't know if it's at this part or maybe earlier where she's like, I never liked you. I never liked you. Yes. You say it. You say it. But huge revelation, though, shortly after, when Posey says he did leave you money. And that's, like, the biggest mic drop ever. Because that's when Posey reveals that she had a dowry. And Posey's like, I looked into your stuff. Like, I just went and I was looking through all your shit. And I saw it. You're, like, she's so nonchalant about it. But, like, then it becomes, okay, well, Araminta stole from Sophie. She took her dowry. So, like, the tables turned really fast with Posey just revealing that.
Yeah. Well, and I love, too, what it does for Sophie, because like, she talks about how it's almost worse to be forgotten than to be outright hated. Like, it was such a thing that weighed on her that she just wasn't even a consideration in her father's mind, that he would leave, dowries for Rosamond and Posey and take care of everybody except her. And that just made her feel so disregarded. And that now, she's like, it's not about the money, it's about that she was loved by her father enough to, like, leave her, to try and protect her in the world. And that's just a really beautiful thing for her to get to know. And sucks that Araminta took that from her.
Bitch. Yeah. It's a really nice moment, and it's a nice moment that, like, Sophie feels like redeemed, and she needs to, like, vocalize it. She says, he left me a dowry, and then Benedict is like, I don't care if you have a dowry. And she's like, I care. I thought he'd forgotten me all these years. I thought he'd written up his will and simply forgotten about me, which ties into exactly what you were saying. Like, I just love how Benedict, he thinks he's being, like, stoic and being like, I don't need a dowry. Well, she's like, it matters that I had one. She doesn't even, I don't even know that she cares that she doesn't have it anymore. It's proof that she was that Araminta stole from her, but also proof that, like, he loved her. So there's a lot of good coming for her in this, despite it being kind of cruel.
Yeah.
Well, now on to chapter 23, and this might be the shortest whistle down we've ever seen.
Well, she gets right to the point because I said boot Araminta's ass is my note. Get her out of town. So,
Nice.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So, I really love how Benedict loves his mom a lot in this chapter.
It's so cute. Well, and she, my goodness, earns it. And I love that, she gets to be the hero because Violet's a badass and she has raised these children and this family, and I want to see her come in as also a dame in shining armor, which is my favorite phrase, Deb. I love that. That was so good. So she gets to come in and rescue and make it happen. So I just love that. She's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. And this moment, which I think is so sick, she's just like, she wants to be left alone. And then the magistrate is like, hey, everybody out. And she's like, no, my family stays. Okay. So cool. She's so, like, effortlessly cool. And now they're getting into the nitty-gritty details on, like, Sophie's not staying here, but how is this gonna go once we leave? She's crossing every T, dotting every I.
I love that she's like, we're going to outline this. This is how things are going to go. We're going to concoct this story for Sophie. You're going to back us up. And that's it. Otherwise, my lawyers are going to see you. Go Violet.
Yeah. Yeah, she pulls the big guns, and I love it. Like, she has nothing to say. And honestly, this is where we start to truly hate Araminta more than we ever could. Because in this moment, you kind of know that Posey she's dug herself a hole in the eyes of Araminta, but in the eyes of the Bridgertons, she's like the hero. And they're kind of trying to see how they can protect Posey, saying, like, come to the country with us, like, you don't need to go back to this monster, basically. And, it's a really nice offer.
Yeah, I love that they get to rescue Posey, too, from this whole situation. And it's just a really lovely development for Posey. And obviously we're going to hear more from Posey at the end of this story, which is great. Mm-hmm. So we'll put a pin in her, because it's fabulous.
A little pin there. Yeah, really exciting. I feel like I keep saying this is my favorite part, but this might actually be my favorite part. Because Sophie just standing up for Posey is amazing here.
Oh, yeah. Well, and Sophie certainly gets her revenge, but I love that she does it not for herself, not for all the pain that Araminta has inflicted upon her, but Sophie delivers just a killer right hook, just straight to Araminta, And she does it for Posey.
Oh, she does it for Posey, and then she has a left hook with, I'm not doing this for me, but, and I quote, that was for not loving your daughters equally. Chills. Chills. She did it for Posey, and that makes me so happy. That just proves what a good person Sophie is, and she never deserved any of this. Neither did Posey. And probably neither did Rosamund.
Yeah. Well, and that's what, like, I think it'll be interesting to see how, like, being the favored child actually isn't good for the favored child either. Like, it turns you into a horrible person. And so, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. And then more sweet moments where Benedict says, have I told you lately how much I love you? Have I mentioned that you're the best of mothers? Like, oh my God. I love that. And I love that she gets emotional about it. It's a beautiful mother-son moment. In a jail, no less.
It's perfect. Where else would that happen? Obviously.
Yes. Makes sense.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
This whole part ends really beautifully when Posey just turns to Sophie and she said, this is a nice family. And Sophie's like, I know. And now suddenly she's walking out with the new family. They both are. And that's really special.
Yeah. Well, and it's all Sophie's ever wanted is a family. And she finally gets to be sisters with Sophie, or with Posey, as well as all the Bridgertons, and have that beautiful family life. Like, that's what Sophie has been dreaming about from the beginning of this book. So it's beautiful that she finally gets that.
All right. I can do this.
Okay.
Tu fais silence? Let's just preface this and say that Deb's child is here.
Yes, we have an extra special guest on the pod.
Yes.
So we're going to be careful about some things.
Bobo. Bobo. Okay. Yeah. Bobo. You gonna go upstairs for Bobo? Okay.
Yeah, so we're back with Benedict and Sophie at Benedict's. And she's immediately like, hey, let's apologize. And it's beautiful. We love the immediate apologies.
We do love apologies, and there's a lot of back and forth apologies happening, which we've been waiting for.
We have. It's true. And it's so good to hear them air it out, to clear the air, and to just say, like, okay, you know, we know that we have to get this out before they can fully commit to each other in the way that they need to in the next in the next few minutes. Guys, Deb's daughter is the most adorable creature on the entire planet. She's so cute.
Yeah, so cute when she interrupts.
And that ultimately, you know, it comes down to, he says, I love you and I want to marry you. And that's really ultimately, like, you need to apologize, you need to do it, but, like, what it comes down to is the love. And so that's what's beautiful.
It's so sweet. And it's nice that, like, even though they, in the heat of the moment and all of the adrenaline rushing, how he's like, you're my fiance, he still needed to have, like, this down-to-earth moment and, like, properly tell her, like, I want to marry you. But what I think is so nice is when they start to dive into the whole, like, Lady in Silver part of it and, like, you know, the reasons why he wanted to be with her, he says, like, I was going to, like, propose even before. Like, I was going to sacrifice the idea of the Lady in Silver to be with you. That's how much I love you. So, yeah, obviously he had to reconcile, like, the person that he knows as Sophie and the Lady in Silver and, like, understand what he's dealing with. And it's so similar to the Lady Whistledown and the Penelope, and how Colin needed time to, like, figure out how this works together. And, you know, luckily for Benedict, it's, like, two positives in a way that he can just, you know, put together and be like, wow, like, how lucky am I that this whole idea that I have of love is this same person. So it's a beautiful conversation where, like, she's emotional, but he's also emotional too, because she's seeing him for who he is as well.
Yeah. Well, and it's such a beautiful thing too. Like, it's on my 405, of where he's talking about why he loves Sophie, and he says, "But one of the things I love best is the fact that you know yourself. You know who you are and what you value. You have principles, Sophie, and you stick by them. That is so rare." And then he also continues on to where he says, "You took the time to see me, to know me, Benedict, not Mr. Bridgerton, not number two, Benedict." And it's just, they're perfect.
It's so sweet. It is so, so sweet. And then it gets into some. Well, okay. I love how, again, with Benedict, it's just like, there's still some comedy there. How he's like, I think you need a bath. And she's like, oh, fuck. It's not me, it's the jail, I swear. But he's kind of like, yeah, but you need a bath. Mm-hmm. I'm going to order a bath. You know, it's just so cheeky. And I love that we have this moment where, you know, she's like, well, your mother said I had to be back by 7. And he's like, I think it was 11. I think it was, you know, like, he keeps pushing it back. It's so cute. It's adorable.
Oh, it's so like teenagers breaking curfew. It's so cute. Yeah. Cheeky is the perfect word for it. I love that.
Yeah. But then also how he's like, I ordered a bath for 2. Okay.
Yes. Well, and I love too, like, Sophie making the choices and making the decisions, and her being like, that it's not swept up in the heat of the moment. It's a decision. She's like, this is what I want, this is who I want, and I'm going to take steps to achieve that, and that's really beautiful. Okay, so my whole thought, as Sophie was getting in the bath, because I did not remember how this scene progressed, my whole thought was, Benedict cannot get in that dirty ass water with her. I was like, she is going to get, like, pelvic inflammatory disease if they do any kind of anything fun in that bath. So.
This is a not romantasy. This is just a novel, okay? This is not something we need to think about right now, okay? He can get in there. I think he does, doesn't he?
No, he stays outside and just washes her, and I was like, thank God.
Yeah, just get her clean first, please. And that's what he does. He gets her clean. Right. In the very literal sense of that sentence.
Okay.
It's fine. Editing is a dream.
Oh my gosh, we got this.
Yes.
Okay, have you ever seen, this is so off the rails, have you ever seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yes. Like, secondhand. Because my husband watched it.
Gotcha. So I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And one of the characters, Charles, like, a running joke that he says is, like, he'll say, like, feeding your partner is, like, the second most intimate thing you can do with your fingers after washing their hair. So it's, like, always after, like, washing their hair is, like, the most intimate thing you can do. And that's all I could think of when I was reading this.
That is so funny. That is so cute. And I love, too, how, like, with that in mind, how he's like, I've dreamed of doing this for years. It's like, cleaning her hair? Really? That's your thing? That's fine.
Like, we do not kink shame on this podcast. Wash her hair all you want, bud.
Yeah. And then he's talking about, like, the length of her hair. Duck your head so I can wash your hair. Now I can't unhear that quote. It sucks.
Good. I'm so glad I've pulled you into the ridiculousness of it with me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and then it's just, like, the banter. I'm rather looking forward to drying you off as well. Up you go. Ah! Benedict!
Oh
do you think they're gonna do that scene?
I hope so.
Holy shit.
A bath would be new. Also, we haven't really seen that. Have we?
Queen Charlotte.
There it is. Yes.
I
Yeah.
knew there was a bath scene
That
somewhere.
is a good scene in Queen Charlotte's.
That's a fantastic scene.
Yeah. The Corey looking angry and horny at the same time is an image I can't get out of my brain.
Never. Never, ever, ever.
Yeah.
So, part 2, please. Thank you.
Yep. On a sweeter note, uh, one of my favorite lines in this whole book is on it's on my 412, and Sophie says, "Even before I saw you, I felt you. Anticipation, magic. There was something in the air, and when I turned and you were there, it was as if you'd been waiting for me, and I knew you were the reason I'd stolen into the ball. You are the reason that I exist," she said softly, "the very reason I was born."
Yep. Yep. When I was rereading this, I thought of you and how at the beginning of our reread, you're like, you hooked onto that moment of like the feeling somebody when you haven't even seen them yet. Julia Quinn, girl, she came full circle with that. It's a beautiful, beautiful scene. Or beautiful, beautiful quote, I should say. And it's so sweet. And they just love each other so much. And one of my favorite quotes is towards the end of this when they're really getting down to business, where he says, "You're mine, you're mine," and then later he says, "And I'm yours." Love, I can't. Oh my gosh. And then they fall asleep. And then they wake up, and then they have another cute conversation, important conversation. Oh, it's just all the conversations they needed to have this whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, the communication is suddenly golden. And I love
Yeah.
that for them, and it's just bodes so well for their future.
Yes, it does.
Um, it cracked me up too that Sophie's like, "Do you think that Lady Whistledown's gonna write about me?" And he's like, "What are you more excited about, me or Lady Whistledown?" And she's kind of like, "Maybe Lady Whistledown?" Like,
She's so cute. Little does she know, that's her sister-in-law. Crazy. But yeah, so sweet. So endearing. Um, yeah, and actually it's here where he says, "Deciding to marry you meant I had to abandon my dream of marrying her. Ironic, isn't it?" Love it. Yeah. Again, they're just having all the conversations they needed to have. And then in like very Sophie fashion, she's just trying to like talk and figure out and like do the math in her head and try and like say the right thing at the right time, and all he has to say is, "I love you." And then she realizes that's all she needed. So they just complete each other. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
it's so funny, and maybe it's because we were just speaking French with your small child, but all I can think of is "Je t'aime, sais tu," and like that's one of my favorite romantic phrases, like ever. Is like, "I love you." That's all. And that's all
Yeah,
that we need.
that's all you need. Because, like, they could keep running in circles around this topic and, like, the what could have been and whatever. But at the end of the day, it works out. And they love each other. And that's it. See, too.
And that's the book. But we have not only an epilogue, but a second epilogue. Well, in this first episode, I can't talk. Okay, and this first epilogue is so cute. I love the idea of like Violet's birthday, and that maybe we could see that, kind of some kind of a time jump I'm envisioning for this. But my goodness, Sophie's popping out babies real quick. They have boys. It's all very flirty and fun, and they just have that little family that they've built together. It's so cute.
So cute. And honestly, like, this interaction of, like, her telling him that she's pregnant again is, like... I feel like the thing that we haven't had in Bridgerton yet, and the thing that I wanted so badly with Colin and Penelope, I just wanted her to, like, tell him. I want to see one of them react to, like, them being pregnant. Like, it's so sweet. It's such a cute moment, and, like, I really hope that they stay true to the epilogue, because, like, it would be so sweet. I don't know necessarily that in the show that there'll be 3 kids deep, but it would be sweet to have a little pregnancy announcement in the epilogue. It'd be really cute.
Well, and maybe that's why we haven't seen that specific thing yet. Like, maybe they're saving it for Benedict and Sophie, which I love. Like, I feel like every couple gets little cute things that are kind of theirs. And
Yeah.
I would love to see that. So,
Yeah, fingers crossed. And I love that they want to name their daughter Violet. So cute.
perfect.
So perfect. And yeah, it's just a beautiful, quick interaction, but just a really good inside look of, like, where they're at all those years down the road. And it's super cute. But can we talk about the second epilogue? Unless you have more to say about the first.
No, I love the second epilogue. I was dying. It feels like its own little insular short story.
Yeah.
And I love it. I couldn't love it more. It's so
I
cute.
know. I kind of forgot how cute it was. Like, how sweet is it that, well, okay, from the beginning, the epilogue kind of follows the story of Posey and how she has, like, gone on since that fateful day in the jail. And, you know, how, you know, she's having a good life, but she just hasn't found anybody, and Sophie is just adamant with Benedict and having this cute, like, marital couple moment of, like, are you listening to me? I need to find a husband for Posey. And he's just like, yeah, well, maybe she doesn't want to get married. You know, it's a cute little back and forth. And yeah, Sophie's just adamant that that Posey can find somebody.
Yeah. And boy, is she right, which I love that it's Benedict's idea that he calls out the right dude. Like, he's paying attention. He's, you know, he's got this. He's on top of it.
Yeah.
He's an engaged husband.
Yeah, he knows. He's right on top of it. And I love how, like, as soon as he gives, like, the right answer, she's like, great. And they get to naughty things. So I'm like, well, I assume they do. It's just kind of cute how it's like, suddenly we're not talking anymore. Right answer. Let's go. It's so cute.
So I feel like the Bridgerton boys in the show love gardens, right? Or all the Bridgertons. Daphne too.
Yes.
But, like, it feels like the Bridgertons in the books love, like, dining tables. Because, like, Anthony, like, takes Kate over, like, the tea service. And this is, like, on the breakfast table. And they really love their sturdy tables. in Bridgerton.
You know, what makes me, oh my god, this is such, like, a jump, but I'm just thinking of one of the promos for season 3, how Luke Newton, Nicola Coughlan, and Claudia Jesse they had to build a table. And he's like, yeah, this could take an intimacy scene. Did you just build a table for, like, Sophie and Benedict?
I love that.
Maybe.
Gosh, that's fabulous. Well, in this case, though, the people who, well, I'm jumping ahead, but the people who love the garden in this scene are, actually Posey and Hugh. So we're gonna meet Hugh in a sec here.
Hugh, the vicar. Oh, so sweet. And I love how they both had that moment. They both had that fairy tale moment of, like, whoa, love at first sight. Like, they both have it, and I love having both of their point of views, and, like, you know, we get Hugh's, like, little backstory about, like, being always friend zoned, and basically he's super sweet, endearing, but, like, never got lucky. But it seemed like that was all fate, because he was bound to be in this, like, in this tea room, in this, you know, whatever space to see Posey. And they just have this moment. It's so cute.
It's so cute. Well, and Sophie cracks me up because she keeps, like, remarking on things to try and get them to pay attention to her, and they're just not. She might as well not be there. And she's like, okay, I guess, there's a garden if you guys wanna, and they're like, yep, okay, bye.
Bye. okay, bye. I love that. But like, Sophie, that's what you wanted, so just, you're fine. Have your biscuit.
Your biscuit. I also absolutely adore when Benedict comes rushing in and he's like, there's a view from my studio of the garden. And then they just like race each other. They're like, it's so cute.
I love it. They're so childish at heart. I love it. The romance is not dead between them, and I hope it never dies because, honestly, I'm the type that, like, I latch on to things and say, this is my favorite, but, like, I love Benedict and Sophie so much more. Not that I didn't before, but so much more now that we've, like, broken down their story so deeply, and I love Posey. Like, I cannot wait to see Posey. Beginning to end, I know Isabella Way is gonna, and that probably has already, smashed it, and I can't wait to see her come to life, because as per the descriptions from, like, Shondaland and Jess Brownell, seems like Posey is really exactly how she's been depicted in this book, and I just, fingers crossed for Hugh. That would be so cute.
That would be so cute. Yeah, like, even if we just catch, like, a little glimpse of them in the end, that would be so perfect. And I just thought it was really cool and interesting that in the end, Posey named her baby daughter Araminta, and then they called her Minty. So, like, I feel like it's, like, breaking generational trauma, but also a last, like, F you to Araminta of, like, we're gonna call her Minty, and I know you'd hate that.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
Exactly. Oh, Posey. She's just everything you want her to be, you know? Minty. Araminta would hate that. So.
Oh, yeah.
Stick it.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
That.
I mean, is that it?
I think that's it. I don't, like, want to let go of this book yet. Like,
I don't want to let go of it. Can we sleep with it? Can we do it again?
We'll have to read it again after the season and go back through and be like,
no problem.
What was, yeah.
Happy to. Oh, great book though. I loved it. Even more the second time. It's making me even more excited for season 4.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. It's gonna be so good. And I trust that the magic from the book is definitely going to come to screen just as we want it to. I believe in it fervently.
Completely agree. It's going to be fantastic. Cannot wait for Benedict and Sophie on our screens. We're so lucky.